Many of us have heard that there are two Americas. Despite living in the same country, state, city, community, our daily experiences can look vastly different. And in some cases, we may not know what others are going through. Hello, I'm Marie Daniel for KSHB 41 News. And in an effort to help the community grow, we want to bring you stories that talk about those different experiences. We hope this series of stories can offer you new perspectives of the America you know and the one you might not. Conversations like this can be difficult because they often touch on things like race, finances, healthcare, jobs, education, and mental health. Our goal is to bring you facts, testimonies, and possible solutions to issues affecting those in our communities. Many of us have heard that there are two Americas. Despite living in the same country, state, city, community, our daily experiences can look vastly different. And in some cases, we may not know what others are going through. Hello, I'm Marie Daniel for KSHB 41 News. And in an effort to help the community grow, we want to bring you stories that talk about those different experiences. But first, we want to talk about the access to food, or lack thereof it. It's an issue that's causing frustration in communities across the country. The big reason? Waiting for local leaders to act. Matt Pearl introduces us to one woman who says her community hasn't been heard, so she's using her voice and actions and making them as loud as possible.
The phrase is food desert. It's an area where affordable, nutritious food is beyond reach for those without transportation. But deserts are part of nature.
You haven't seen a grocery store at all since we've been here, right?
What Jamela Anderson sees in Albany, New York, was very much nurtured.
I like to frame it as a food apartheid. A lot of people think that black is synonymous with poor. It's not that the people are poor, it's like there are no resources for them, or the resources have been taken because of redlining, because of systemic oppression, because of city planning.
She says it so quickly, but it's happened so deliberately. The same communities marked for redlining 80 years ago, largely black communities where residents were cut off from financing homes, are still where most of Albany's black residents live today. We came because it has some of the widest racial gaps in education, poverty, and access to food.
There are so many people who don't realize it's happening.
Anderson knew this. Last year, she decided to address it.
You have run out of patience with waiting for the system to come around.
Yes.
Every day, Anderson puts fresh food in refrigerators stationed in Albany's poorest parts. She started with one fridge last summer. Now, it's 7.
Are you coming to stack the refrigerator? Yeah. It's an eggplant.
And they're always busy.
They put good, healthy things in there and things that people can use, you know?
Veronica Avery has lived in Albany for years.
People come here every day people come. That's why I stay empty all the time, because people are always coming through here picking up, getting food.
In recent years, free fridges have caught on. The website Freege.com shows more than 200 nationwide, from Buffalo to Sacramento to Colorado. They all reflect the need on the ground to fill in the gaps where systems have failed.
Someone just texted me a picture within the last hour and a half, and the fridge was filled and now it's empty. People can wear a Black Lives Matter shirt, people can put a decal on their window, people can do all of these things. A lot of times it's not actually providing the safety in which we need. Oh, cool.
Anderson has found farmers and volunteers willing to help. She's been given shout-outs by both New York senators, and this past winter she posed next to a fridge for the cover of Time magazine.
They're all like their own little store, essentially.
But as this winter nears, frustration remains high.
I've gotten so many awards from the government here, and it's like I'm getting awards for doing their work for free. They don't understand the community. Yeah, pass along my info.
In one afternoon with Anderson,
I love you. How you doing?
that community becomes clear.
I got a keyboard I don't use anymore.
Oh, there's like this pressure to keep doing more and more and more, but it's like hard to keep up sometimes. So I want people to come up to me and know that I will figure out a way to help them. Like, that's really important, and it's really important for people to have those people in the community. But it does cause a little bit of burnout.
The day after we leave, Anderson does too for vacation. She secures help for the fridges and grants herself permission to briefly detach. But before long, she will return, and so will the work. Her city isn't a desert. It's a place where too many have been deserted.
I want people to walk down the street and be like, wow, like there is a sense of community here, and like I am supported, I am protected.
In Albany, New York, I'm Matt Pearl.
Now that was in Albany, New York, but as we all know, this is a national issue. Even here, many people here in the metro lack that access to healthy, fresh foods in their neighborhoods. Bryant Madrick shows us how one woman is making sure people on the east side of Kansas City are getting access to that fresh and healthy food.
They're going to be yellow, but if you keep them on there long enough, then they'll turn red.
Kansas City's urban core has its share of problems, but inside this garden on the city's east side, you'll find a bright spot.
Because these are mild, right?
Yeah,
okay, these are the real hot ones.
It's the exact same pepper.
Avis Jackson is grocery shopping. Peppers are on the list, and she doesn't like it too hot.
This pepper right here, I called it the devil. This the devil pepper. I bit a little piece, like this little green piece right here, and my mouth burned for an hour.
When Jackson makes her famous salsa, she prefers something less intense, but still with a little kick. But getting quality food takes some work.
From where I live, to drive to the city market, it would take me about 20 minutes. This is 5 minutes away.
Jackson gets her veggies from Latrice Murray, a.k.a. Black Farmer Jane. Murray turned her yard into a farm after the coronavirus pandemic put her job on hold.
But once I was stuck at home and I would personally need to go out and get groceries or wanted fresh fruits and vegetables, I realized how hard they were to obtain.
Murray and Jackson live in what's described as a food desert. The USDA defines it as a low-income area where a large number of residents don't have easy access to a supermarket or large grocery store. Murray's farm is located in the 64128 zip code.
I mean, you can't even get Pizza Hut to deliver over here.
In this neighborhood, something healthier requires at least an 11-minute walk to one market and more than 30 minutes to another. This map from the USDA shows how big a problem access to food is across the metro. The areas shaded in yellow represent more than 100 low-income housing units without a vehicle that are more than a half mile from the nearest supermarket.
I don't want to have to travel to a different neighborhood to get something healthy for myself. Why can't I get it in my neighborhood?
Murray says the point of her farm is to make sure Jackson and others don't have to travel far for fresh fruit and veggies. She plans to expand her farm with more food options next season.
You know, I feel that good food should be accessible for everyone. It shouldn't matter what your income is. You should be able to eat good.
Murray's focus on eating good, healthy food isn't exclusive to Kansas City. Black Farmer Jane also has farms in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and Memphis, Tennessee. The goal is just to make sure we can tackle food insecurity one farm at a time. Coming up, we take a deeper look at the difference between rural and urban communities, the push to expand access to high-speed internet, and the struggles for those who are still trying to get it. Plus, the obstacles facing some in the rural regions trying to find mental health resources. Another contrast we see is the way of life for people who live in cities versus those who live in rural areas, with technology being a key issue. Especially last school year, when districts were forced to go remote, we saw old issues presented new problems. While some students lack the technology, others lack the access to high-speed broadband internet. And even today, some students are still waiting for solutions. Charlie Keegan shows us the effort outside the metro to get high-speed internet for more families.
All roads in Ray County, Missouri seem to lead to Richmond. And when you are here, take Main Street just one block from the downtown square to see what's on everyone's mind. Always faster internet.
This is the brain center.
Fast internet is critical for the Richmond School District.
It's like a highway system for the internet.
Technology Director Brian Long says broadband internet enters the high school. Then underground fiber lines connect it to the district's 3 other campuses.
This is the standard Chromebook that we hand out.
Beginning last year, all 1,400 students in the district now get a computer or tablet to help with their schoolwork.
I'm hoping to kind of go down the economics path,
which includes 3 totally virtual classes for student body president Zane Renfro. He says at school, the internet is mostly perfect.
It is fast, and I can get all my work done that I need to.
It's at home where his classmates run into trouble.
I know people personally that don't have internet at home, and I'm sure that there's a bunch more that I don't know of.
In fact, the state believes nearly a quarter of Missouri students don't have access to broadband internet at home. In Richmond, the district partnered with its internet provider to use the tower on top of the high school as a way to send Wi-Fi to more homes, but it only works if you can see the tower, which most of the city cannot. And cell service in the area is too spotty to make mobile hotspots a reliable alternative, so those students who don't have internet at home have to go to the public library 1 mile from the high school or just stay late at school where the internet is strong.
That's one thing that frustrates me most is we're a half hour from Kansas City. And why is it that we still have tough time getting the technology?
Right before the start of the school year, Governor Mike Parson introduced a $400 million plan to build infrastructure to help connect more Missourians to broadband internet. But it'll be up to the legislature to approve the plan in January when it meets.
I hope legislation and people in the future will think about it like the paved roads that get to your house. In the same way with technology. We want to educate these kids.
Now, all of our schoolwork's almost online, so you have to rely on it a lot.
As education merges with technology, the internet is the sometimes bumpy road to a degree. In Richmond, Charlie Keegan, KSHB 41 News.
Another issue, the stigma surrounding mental health and how people who need help are still left in the shadows. But for those who are able to get help, it can come with a list of obstacles. Leslie Delisbar takes us to a Kansas farm to show us the America you know and the one you may not.
Meet Lowell Neitzel. His journey as a farmer began as a young boy, harvesting crops and operating combines just like this one. But his journey with mental health issues began as a young man and a fourth-generation farmer after the loss of his father.
I wasn't as close to him as I wanted to be at the end, but I was able to say goodbye to him, and it was a big deal to me. But after that, I realized there was something wrong. My wife reached out to me and grabbed me one afternoon or one evening and said, "Hey, I think you're not really right now."
Dealing with the tragic loss, Lowell was reluctant to get help, and he says many farmers are, due to the stigma behind mental health in rural communities.
We were taught at an early age, Grandma and Grandpa taught me that, we're tough. You have a bad day, you just suck it up and keep on trucking.
While the stigma remains the same, so do the stresses and daily tasks of a farmer.
You're by yourself. There's nothing to do. Just sit there and watch and listen to. You got the radio on, but it's just background noise, and your mind is just racing about. Okay, well, what happens if this breaks down, or what happens if this gets full? Or they're talking rain tomorrow. How much rain are we going to get? And you can go down that rabbit hole pretty fast.
And Lowell says getting out of that rabbit hole can be tough for farmers, even with help from a provider.
They've helped me out, but a little bit of the lack of the knowledge of farming and the stressors that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, their lack of knowledge is kind of a hindrance a little bit. So a lot of times when I'm in a session, I'll spend 15-20 minutes of my time explaining the dynamics of the farm and dynamics of what I'm feeling.
And the lack of understanding isn't the only obstacle.
It still is insurance related. Some insurances don't cover the types of therapy or support that the farmer might need, or perhaps the farmer still doesn't even have insurance.
Deb Oldie with Kansas Corn works to raise awareness about the financial burdens, but recognizes the impact of the pandemic.
Telehealth became much more accessible, and the billing on that became much more feasible.
For some, though, the suffering continues due to the lack of access, technology, and reluctancy to speak up.
I know in the small community that I live in, I personally had a couple of individuals that I knew fairly well that have taken their life, and I think it's a tight-knit situation in small rural communities, but by the same token, sometimes when they most need it, people don't reach out.
A farmer or a rancher, they might see themselves as they're getting ready to lose the farm, or they're in debt so bad that they don't feel like there's another way out, and the last resort is to take their own life.
With programs in place to help rural Americans deal with mental health, the first step is to get farmers and ranchers to speak up and understand if they are suffering, help is not too far away.
I think the more we can get it out there that it's okay to talk about it, and maybe lower the stigma, I think there's going to be a lot more people come out that you really didn't know that had a problem.
It's so important that family and neighbors and other farmers talk to each other and reach out and just suggest, hey, there's an option if you're potentially thinking that you might need some support.
In Douglas County, Leslie Dulles-Fort, KSHB 41 News.
Kansas Corn offers several mental health resources for farmers and ranchers. They include podcasts, online resources, and a crisis text line. If you need someone to reach out to, text HOME to 741-741. We've also provided a link to these resources in this story at kshb.com. Still ahead, millions of Americans are still hesitant about the COVID-19 vaccine. One family hopes to change minds by sharing their story of loss. Plus, a look at the gender wage gap and the solutions found across the country to fix the problem. Also, the challenges the pandemic has caused for those working and living with a disability. 18 months ago, our world turned upside down. And for some, you could even say that the pandemic helped unmask the very belief that there were two Americas. It also fueled one of the biggest divides currently splitting America: vaccines. The COVID-19 vaccine brought resistance with it. At this point, only 58% of Americans are fully vaccinated, with about 67% that have received one dose. And despite local leaders, doctors, even family members urging people to get the vaccine, Matt Pearl explains hesitancy remains.
They don't want to be here.
How are you both doing?
Yeah, we're feeling all right today. Yeah.
Victor and Jackie Frazier don't want to be looking into a camera, pleading with anyone who will listen to get vaccinated for COVID-19.
Once you get into the fight with this demon, it's too late.
They're only here because Barbara isn't.
She was just a fighter for other people, and unfortunately, she made a decision to neglect her own, care.
Barbara Frazier had begun to blossom. Her parents speak of awards she won at work, the pride she made them feel. But when the COVID vaccine reached their small southern town, Victor and Jackie couldn't convince their daughter to get it. Then she got the virus.
She did not trust the medical field or the scientists either. Me and my wife both were vaccinated, and when we were trying to help our daughter, we both caught COVID, and I caught COVID pneumonia.
Victor and Jackie spent time in the hospital but eventually recovered. Barbara died in her sleep at the age of 29.
It's like something being snatched out of you. It's
so unreal,
Yeah, it's like you're in a dream, and it's not registered. Nothing's really registered,
Within weeks of losing their daughter, Victor and Jackie committed to sharing her story, in part because they knew she wasn't alone. They know of so many people who look like them.
Me and you got each other. See, we put your mask on.
Who don't wear masks and won't get the vaccine. Dr. Catherine Burley sees it too.
Well, there's fear. They don't have a lot of trust.
She also sees how decades of conscious and subconscious bias in medical health has impacted her community.
They go to the doctor and they're treated differently, they're talked to differently. A lot of times, sometimes they just want to hear me say, you need to get the vaccine.
But to pinpoint one group for vaccine hesitancy is to miss the vast diversity of mass resistance. A study from the COVID States Project found it's not just black parents, but rural parents, young parents, and low-income parents who are more likely to have concerns. And a CDC survey found the states with the most hesitant populations include Montana and Wyoming, Kentucky and Arkansas. So many have lost. So many are speaking out.
I wasn't going to get the vaccine, but then I got sick.
This is John Painter. He recorded a video with the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau to help convince fellow farmers to get vaccinated.
If you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for the people that love you.
As a fourth wave of the virus fills hospitals again, a new wave of appeals seeks to convince those not yet reached.
There's not a week that goes by that I'm not getting a call from the medical examiner, the hospital, or a family member about one of my patients who's perished from COVID. It's very real. You know, and some of these people were fine 2 months ago, and they're now deceased.
Victor and Jackie saw it with Barbara. Now, amidst their grief, because of their grief, they look into a camera and speak.
When you go to the emergency room, you see a lot of black people, you know, standing there waiting for hours and hours and hours. Something got to scratch that surface and let them know that, you know, they have to be prepared. This is not no play. This is a killer.
I know that she loved us dearly, and she knows we loved her. I just want people to know that you want to do something while you can.
In Warner Robins, Georgia, I'm Matt Pearl.
After the break, suffering and sometimes in silence, a survivor of domestic violence speaks out about it and how it can affect children who witness it at home, and programs aimed at helping those who experience that trauma. Plus access to affordable clothing and the impact it has on communities without it. Domestic abuse, it's a tough thing to talk about, but it may be more common than you think. The National Coalition of Domestic Violence says 1 in 3 women have experienced some form of physical violence from an intimate partner. For men, that number sits at 1 in 4. When it comes to children, the same organization shows 1 in 15 children are exposed to intimate partner violence each year, and 90% of those children are eyewitnesses to this violence. I spoke with one childhood survivor who shares her story and the work she's doing now to help others.
And they are very excited about some carrots, right?
For Courtney Thomas, there's something about horses that brings her peace.
When I have the opportunity to ride, just being in the saddle and being with them and just being free, it just feels so free. Right, Mama?
It's that freeing feeling and being at peace she didn't always have as a child.
It was right before kindergarten, and I had gotten one of my shots, and I think it was a tetanus shot, and I couldn't get my clothes off that night to put on my pajamas, and I'd asked my mom for help, and her husband at the time said no, she has to do it on her own, and my mom didn't heed to his advice, and she paid for it that night. She helped me take my clothes off, put my pajamas on, and I remember hearing the bodies hit the wall that night.
Courtney was just 5 years old. She would experience domestic violence until the age of 13, when her grandmother took full custody, a saving grace from dark memories in her childhood.
Domestic violence is a thief of your childhood. It's a thief of your self-confidence and your happiness as an adult. And I am so grateful for organizations like Newhouse who are here in our community to help people understand you're not alone, that there are resources, and most importantly, there is hope.
She's now the CEO of Newhouse KC, a domestic violence shelter, where she's instilling that hope for survivors.
I don't want people to feel that way, because 1 in 3 women has experienced domestic violence at some point in their lifetime. So that means someone in your family, one of your coworkers, a friend that you go to school with or graduated college with, someone you know and love, and it may just be you, is experiencing this right now.
According to KCPD's Homicide Tracker, in 2019, there were 7 homicides related to domestic violence. In 2020, 11. So far this year, that number sits at 12.
It does surprise me. I know what we have found is that, I don't want to say a number, but there are DV-related homicides that occurred, that there are no previous documented incidences between those 2 parties. So it could be that the victim never reported it, never called police. That's very much a possibility.
However, DV-related 911 calls are all too common.
Every day, our shifts are 8 hours, and there's times when our phone rings nonstop.
KCPD partners with shelters like the Rosebrook Center.
And we're just a phone call away. We have a 24-hour crisis line.
Greg Smith, the police victim advocate for Rosebrooks, works with KCPD to help victims with resources and plans to help them get back on their feet and process what happened, including children.
And that's one of the sad aspects of the job, is like when children are brought in and children become part of the incident, and they are, we treat them. We also have therapy services for children.
And for those who are in domestic violence situations, the questions for survivors should never be, why don't you just leave?
And it's such the wrong question to be asking. On the surface, it looks easy. Oh, just leave. Well, where will she go? If her spouse has controlled the bank account, if the spouse controls her circle of friends, her employment.
Instead, Thomas hopes to flip the narrative to help people understand the difficult decisions going into leaving.
It's why is this happening to her? Why is he doing this or she doing this?
While Thomas cherishes moments that bring her joy,
I could sit in a pasture all day long.
She also remembers those childhood memories and making sure no child she's in contact with is ever alone, going through what she did and making sure we keep reminding them.
You are worthy of love. You are worthy of opportunity. You are worthy of happiness.
For some, getting away is very tough. Statistically, it can take a survivor 7 to 10 times to permanently leave their abuser. This is the website for the Resource Center on Domestic Violence, and it shows the national hotline number. And for those who are afraid your internet usage may be monitored, click on the bottom of the screen. You'll see an escape button, and you'll be unable to return to the site, but be mindful because this does not completely clear your browsing history. If you or someone you know is in need of help, head to kshb.com. There you'll find a list of domestic shelters and resources to help you. We'll be right back. Another discussion in America, wage equity. Despite conversation in recent years, women on average make less than men, no matter what state or city you live in. Matt Pearl shows us just how wide that wage gap is and the trend to reverse it.
For the most part, it's quiet.
I think everybody talks to themselves a little bit so they can figure out their plan of action.
Justine Castelli just started working at a nonprofit in Laramie, Wyoming.
It's been about 2 months.
She uses the calm to develop her career.
Dabbling into the nonprofit and figuring out the inner workings of it, it's really interesting. It's been pretty quiet.
And then you get home.
And yeah. And then I get home.
Home means cooking.
A little bit more.
Home means corralling her 3 sons, Vincenzo.
That's loud.
Marcello.
I will be in 1st grade soon.
And 2-year-old Gianni. At this hour, mercifully, taking a nap.
You would think that work is your high-level stress part of your day, and then home is just like, okay, you get to mellow out. But there you go. I think for a lot of working moms, it's complete opposite. Okay.
Justine is a working and single mom in the state she's long called home. A state with the widest wage gap between men and women in the country.
If women were heard and appreciated for what they can offer in a job, then a lot would have changed already.
Wyoming is known for stunning scenery. It's also known as the Equality State, the first state to give women the unrestricted right to vote and to elect a woman as governor. But in 2019, women in Wyoming made, on average, $20,000 less than men, 65 cents for every dollar.
I would like to see more industries become more supportive of that word mother.
Wendy Fanning runs the Wyoming Women's Business Center.
Rural communities, it's hard to find childcare for infants. Many people have to rely on family members to step in.
In a Care.com study, Wyoming ranked 44th in available childcare. A separate study found nearly 2/3 of Wyoming women work in education, food preparation, or office support, fields that tend to mean lower incomes.
There are certainly factors that make Wyoming unique, but there are just as many that run nationwide and are why women's wages continue to lag behind men's in every state in America.
Here's just a slice. Women are more likely to work in lower wage fields that are less likely to provide benefits. Women reported nearly twice as much gender discrimination, and mothers were nearly twice as likely as fathers to say taking time off for childcare had a negative effect on their careers. Then there's COVID. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, the pandemic has set women's labor force participation back more than 30 years.
You have to learn how to be resilient. You have to keep pushing. Yeah, this is the way the world is, but sitting here and waiting for something to fall in your lap is not going to help you.
In the last 3 years, Wyoming legislators have submitted a series of bills aimed at closing the gap. All but one failed. Instead, groups on the ground have educated and empowered. Justine went through a program called Climb Wyoming, which offers job training and placement for low-income single moms.
There we go.
Now she works for Wendy at the business center,
Our intake form.
which provides aid and resources for female entrepreneurs. This is how she perseveres. At work, quiet focus.
You want me to start from there?
At home,
Okay.
leadership and love.
What? Ouch.
All driven by purpose.
With my oldest, to have him tell me, I'm so proud of you. Like I'm gonna end up crying. I think it's an amazing thing to know at such a young age, my boys, they see it. They see the work I'm putting in, and they are proud of me.
We read this.
No.
In Laramie, Wyoming, I'm Matt Pearl.
When King Fred woke next morning, he was informed. Working with a disability can sometimes create its own challenges, especially during a pandemic. Megan Abundis sat down with one woman who shares her story and hopes you and others in our community.
I got the meatloaf.
District Poorhouse and Kitchen in Waldo has something for everybody.
Cheese pizza.
Truffle fries to start with? Yes, of course.
Lakin Klumsky would know. She's been a part of the restaurant for 5 years.
Hello. How we doing?
But this last year proved to be a whole new challenge.
I remember when I got the text message like, hey, this is the day we're coming back to work. You know, we are wearing masks. And I just started crying. And I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to do my job if I can't hear or lip read very well.
As an infant, Klumsky lost her hearing due to spinal meningitis. Now she wears hearing aids to help.
One in each ear.
But sometimes background noise can make customers sound muffled, kind of like this.
I have a really hard time hearing those, even with my hearing aid.
Did you catch that? It's something Lakin wants you to hear.
Really low voices, I have a really hard time hearing those, even with my hearing aid. And then a lot of background noise. Like if I have a lot of background noise, it's really hard for me to hear. So lip reading comes into play there.
And with the nation wearing masks, it's done no favors for those who are hard of hearing and also rely on lip reading.
I can't read your lips. I can't tell if you're actually talking to me. So looking at me and maintaining eye contact and even like pointing on the menu to like what you want, that helps a lot too. And speaking up, like I don't need you to yell at me, I just need you to speak up and speak clearly.
Lakin even wears a button to make customers aware.
Just so I can just have it on my mask and people can just automatically see, hey, hard of hearing, please speak up, and then they can just hopefully do that.
She says sometimes people still don't get it.
I'm sorry? Iced tea awesome. Some people like joke about it and they just say, oh yeah, we could all use that button, we could all, you know, like we all have a hard time hearing. And that's kind of, I consider that a little dismissive. Because it's like, yeah, I get it, like we all wear a mask, you know, muffles the speech a little bit more, but it's like I have a legit, like, excuse, like I really need you to speak up, I need you to look at me because I can't read lips anymore.
Accessibility is a huge issue for those who are deaf or hard of hearing, but there's one place in Olathe that's putting in the work, not only for their students, but the community too.
Hello, I'm Luann Barron. I'm the superintendent for the Kansas School for the Deaf.
Superintendent Barron says the Olathe Police Department did a study to see how many people this impacts in the metro.
The results indicated that we are the second largest population of deaf, hard of hearing individuals in the United States, with a population of about 10,000 individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing in the metro area.
That was 10 years ago, and Barron says the number has greatly increased with new families moving here just for the school, which should serve as a reminder to the metro hearing community.
Become more sensitive, more compassionate. Again, this is a very large community with a broad range of needs, so you're going to see various deaf, hard of hearing people all over the place within your professions, different businesses, your coworker perhaps. Try to be more empathetic.
Her one ask?
Learn the language. I mean, honestly, really, it's simple. It's offered everywhere.
The basics of American Sign Language.
Did we decide on any appetizers, or do we need a few more minutes?
And in Lakin's case, the basics of respect and patience.
Risotto ball, sure.
Can go a long way when considering who you communicate with.
There was never a point where I just wanted to give up because there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to adjust and go with it and just do the best I can.
Megan Abundis, KSHB 41 News.
Coming up, affordable housing. Every city in the U.S. has a plan on the issue, but why do some plans work and others fail? How affordable housing talks are now including a keyword, permanent. In the last year, we've seen a surge of homelessness across the country and right here in the metro. The CDC's moratorium on evictions helped fight that trend as Americans struggle with the financial impact of the pandemic. But it's over now, and cities are starting to see the need for more affordable housing. And nationwide, there are millions of affordable homes and apartments, but as Chris Conti explains, those aren't permanent.
Not much can silence the sound of New Orleans. A steady beat that marches this city forward. But when the music stopped in 2005 and then again this year, Vance Vokerson wasn't sure how long the silence would stay.
It really turned your life up around, and then you had so many people that once they left and they moved to Houston, Atlanta, various cities, and they got settled, a lot of them didn't come back.
For more than 100 years, Vance's family has lived and worked in the city's 7th Ward. When Katrina barreled through here, it destroyed Vokerson's sausage, a neighborhood staple.
The challenge was, well, who's coming back? And then what are they coming back to?
The floodwater eventually retreated. A flood of a different kind, though, inundated this city. Hundreds of millions of dollars in federal aid to help rebuild affordable housing.
What we gained, which is interesting, is a universal interest in a rebuild of a city.
But affordable housing here in New Orleans and in cities across the country comes with an expiration date. The way most affordable housing in this country works is that developers are given incentives to build low-income houses or apartments. In most cases, though, those incentives run out after 10 to 15 years. And at that point, developers can rent their properties out at market rate. One day, a family could be paying $300 in rent. The next, rent skyrockets to $1,300.
And it really exposes that many people don't have any resources beyond living paycheck to paycheck.
Julius Kimbrough is with the Crescent City Community Land Trust. New Orleans' typical tune when it comes to affordable housing has been falling flat. So through a mix of public and private funding, they are working to build permanent affordable housing units across the city.
We are subsidizing both the residential aspects of it, but also the commercial spaces. You could think of this as an incubator.
There are 255 community land trusts nationwide trying to do the same thing. Community land trusts will buy a piece of land, then sell or rent homes above to residents. The concept has created 35,000 affordable housing units nationwide.
This kind of expiring affordability is really all the more reason that we need new long-term robust investment in affordable housing across the country.
Cashuana Hill is with Louisiana Fair Housing. She sees this whole concept as a smarter way to continue to rebuild New Orleans.
We have to be able to ensure longer terms of affordability so that we're not giving away public subsidies only to see families kicked out and affordable homes turned into luxury condos after a 15-year time period.
So you come up to the upstairs apartment.
Which brings us back to Vance Vokerson.
This is a bathroom.
And that business he's rebuilding.
This is going to be our bar area here.
As part of his partnership with the Crescent City Community Land Trust, Vance was given the financing he needed to rebuild his family's restaurant. The only stipulation is that he build 2 low-income apartments up above.
Everyone needs the ability to look out that type of view.
Those units will be affordable housing for as long as this building stands.
We've made a promise to the community that we will always have even just 2 apartments. They will be permanently affordable in perpetuity.
2 apartments may not sound like much, but in a city where rent has gone up by as much as 50% post-Katrina and wages have stayed flat, 2 apartments will be a major boost for 2 families in need.
And we just want to make sure that when we reinvest, that we reinvest in a way to say we're not going anywhere.
In a city known for its music, people like Vance Vokerson are hoping when it comes to affordable housing, this is the kind of tune that will catch on.
Hey, we're coming back. We weren't erased. We weren't flooded out. We have people who have come back and reinvested in our neighborhood.
New Orleans, Louisiana, I'm Chris Conti.
Aside from affordable housing, trying to find affordable clothing can be difficult. Similar to food deserts, trying to find options can be so limited when it comes to trying to find clothing. Taylor Hemness explains from 39th and Troost.
People love a good thrift store find.
The whole outfit. I'm about to purchase this belt and it's
$6. Fits just right.
So this jacket, the pants you're wearing, the shirt you're wearing, you bought all those here.
I bought all these here.
But there is a difference between coming for a special item.
It's a perfect fit.
And coming because it's your best or only option.
And it's really nothing else in the inner city that's real close. And plus, it's on the bus line if you don't have a car.
There's no Kmart's or anything like that around.
Actually, there are no Kmart's left in Kansas or Missouri. But let's use Target and Walmart as an example instead. The closest Target to this neighborhood is 7 miles away in Mission. The closest Walmart, 5.5 miles away in Roland Park. But that's not typical if you live in other parts of town. Just look how many Target and Walmart Supercenter stores are available if you live in other sections of Kansas City. This is Truce 39, a thrift store just steps away from the second busiest bus stop in town at 39th and Troost, and one of the last places in the neighborhood to buy clothes.
Unless you shop online and have a credit card, you're very limited. Or you go to the plaza and you're spending quite a bit of money for a shirt.
We have about 3 or 4 other thrift shops on Truce, but I think this is the only one left.
Sharon Simpson is a faithful Truce 39 shopper. She told me that for people who live in this neighborhood and who don't have a car, the prospect of buying clothes is about more than money.
Sometimes somebody might want a new pair of pants or a new dress, and not unless you have a car. To get to the mall, you have to go to the mall, something like that.
That's a lot for a new pair of pants or a new pair of
Yeah, you just kind of like your whole day gone just to get a pair of pants.
That choice means Truce 39 has a big group of loyal customers.
That's Miss Rose over there. That's Phyllis over there. And I just seen Penny's here. I think Sky's here. That's Mr. Williams. So I know a lot of them by heart, and that's Dee.
Diane Fletcher has worked here for years, even before it was Truce 39. She knows the people and why they're here.
You want the basket? We try not to turn anybody away at all because you just never know where you might end up.
They literally come in barefoot. They literally come in draped in a blanket because they've lost their clothing by some means or other.
So does Tony Worth. She and her husband bought the store 4 years ago and consider it a ministry. She told me that it's changed the way she thinks about clothes and about clothes shopping.
We see the need for someone to take me seriously as a customer. Some of our people, again, who come in here, if they were to go into a store on the plaza, they might not be as welcome. It has made me appreciate more how important clothing, costuming oneself for the day is for people.
Not just for vanity. Clothes don't make the man, but they might, customer Timothy Patterson told me, get the job.
I have hypothyroidism, so my eyes look like this. So when I would do jobs and I wasn't able to cut my hair, I didn't dress right, I would lose jobs, I would lose opportunities. I would come here, spend $5, couple outfits, go through the same thing, get a different response.
Taylor Himness, KSHB 41 News.
Truce 39 also has vouchers for customers who are most in need. The thrift store has actually been there for more than a decade, and it used to be run by St. Vincent de Paul Catholic Church. Still ahead, it's a problem many of us rarely want to address: medical debt. We look at how it can spiral out of control for some families and the efforts to maneuver the broken system to help pay it off for pennies on the dollar. As we close, it's a fear many people live with, being saddled with debt after going to the hospital. Matt Pearl talks about medical debt and how one nonprofit uses the broken system to fight it.
Shana Tova, my friends, a happy new year to us all.
It is the Jewish New Year.
The year 5782 has begun.
When Jews around the world repent.
Rosh Hashanah is my favorite holiday.
On a pulpit in Atlanta, Rabbi Sam Kay says observing Rosh Hashanah means embracing the concept of second chances. In a 20-minute sermon, he relives his.
A rabbinical student woke up in the middle of the night and rushed to the ER with the worst pain he'd ever felt in his life. Even with his insurance, he couldn't afford the bill. Do I have to tell you that that last example is my own?
Rabbi Kay had barely heard of medical debt until he lived it. Months of biopsies and tests left him with $20,000 in medical bills he couldn't pay.
I was absolutely terrified to even check my bank website.
I didn't want to see the number. I didn't want to see how far I was away from zero. Even now, for myself, I get a letter from the doctor, I get a letter from the hospital, and I do not want to open it.
This summer, the Journal of the American Medical Association released a stunning report. It found the total medical debt in America is roughly $140 billion. That's more than all other debt combined. The report also found 1 in 6 Americans has some amount of medical debt in collections.
The numbers are sort of mind-boggling.
Ruth Landay oversees debt operations at RIP Medical Debt, a nonprofit whose very existence shows how broken the system has become.
It's hard to collect on debt from patients because often people can't afford it. And so sometimes the hospitals sell it off to secondary debt collectors.
When they do, the debt loses value and loses more as it continues to go unpaid. RIP Medical Debt purchases and pays off people's debts for pennies on the dollar.
For that person, you're being billed for $1,000, and this is, an incredible burden to you. But on the market, that $1,000 is probably only worth $10 or $5 because the market knows that it's probably not going to be collected on. That's why we can buy it for cheap. At the end of it, if you say, that's crazy, you have understood it. It is crazy, this whole system.
Rabbi Kay was stuck in the system until he started his new job at the temple in Atlanta.
I said, is there any way that we can give me a forward, an advance on my current salary? And I went, I paid off all my credit cards, I paid off all my medical debt, and the next day I couldn't believe it. It was like walking on air.
Because of this temple, I got another chance.
When the rabbi learned of RIP Medical Debt, he used his pulpit to announce a fundraiser. His temple community raised more than $50,000 to relieve roughly $5 million in medical debt. There's no way to apply to get debt canceled for cheap. The people helped by RIP Medical Debt only find out when they get a giant envelope in the mail. But within a broken system,
God is giving us a nudge.
Those with pulpits, literal or financial, can fulfill the promise of a second chance.
So please help us bring the words of our Torah to life, and together let us answer God's call.
In Atlanta, I'm Matt Pearl.
Thank you so much for joining us for our Two Americas special. We hope these conversations just help our community become stronger and more united. If you'd like to see any of these Two Americas stories, be sure to head to kshb.com or our free streaming apps.